A responsive television with low input lag can mean the difference between winning and losing. Whether you use a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series SX, or any other game console or PC, these are the best gaming TVs we've tested. Serious gamers play in one of two ways. PC gamers usually sit at a desk and use their keyboard and mouse, staring at a monitor that's just a foot or two away and usually measures between 20 and 30 inches. Console gamers, on the other hand, often sit on a couch with a gamepad and headset, staring at a TV that's 6 or more feet away. The greater distance needs a bigger screen, and that means monitors won't cut it. You want a good TV for gaming. Ideally that means getting a good TV in general, but there are other important elements to consider as well. We judge TVs on a variety of factors. Our biggest focus is on picture quality, measuring the contrast and colors so everything looks as bright, dark, vivid, and accurate as the director intended. We also consider how easy the TV is to work with, taking aspects like remote ergonomics and interface design into account. Those are all good for when you want to watch your favorite movie or TV show, but for gaming you need to take an additional factor into consideration: input lag. Up until a few years ago, fancy gaming features and syncing compatibility were solely for gaming monitors. Now TVs are getting into the action with many of those same features, available over HDMI. They include Auto Low Latency Mode, ALLM, Variable Refresh Rate, VRR, NVIDIA G-Sync, and AMD FreeSync. ALLM is a simple but useful feature for gaming with a PC, Xbox One, or Xbox Series XS. It lets the system send a signal to the TV to tell it to automatically go into the gaming picture mode or otherwise turn on the gaming features when you start to play, and go out of that mode and turn off those features when you stop playing and want to watch something. TV shows and movies almost all have consistent frame rates, but game frame rates can vary wildly, and TVs with refresh rates fixed at 60 Hz or 120 Hz can have a hard time showing smooth action when that happens. VRR means the TV can adjust its refresh rate on the fly to match the video source. It can reduce or completely remove choppiness and screen tearing from your games. Currently, ALLM and VRR are only available on PCs and Xbox systems. However, Sony plans to add at least VRR to the PS5 in a future update. NVIDIA G-Sync and AMD FreeSync are other frame rate and refresh rate syncing features, specifically for gaming PCs. They let a display sync directly with the PC's graphics card, once again reducing screen tearing and making the action smoother. Depending on your GPU, either of these features are useful if you plan on connecting your PC to your TV. Input lag is the amount of time between when a TV receives a signal and the display updates. Fighting games, character action games, and other types of games that are timing-focused play best when input lag is very low. It can make the difference between feeling like you have precise control over everything happening, and needing to constantly compensate for what amounts to very tiny pauses throwing off your game. Input lag generally ranges between 15 and 80 milliseconds for TVs. We consider 30 to 40 milliseconds to be acceptable, and sub-20 ms input lag as excellent. We test input lag using an HD Fury 4K Diva 18 Gbps HDMI matrix with an Xbox One X as a source. The matrix processes the source video to 4K, then transmits the picture to the TV with the black box overlaid on the center of the screen. A light sensor placed on the screen measures the box as it flashes, determining how long the TV takes between when the signal is sent and the picture changes, down to the tenth of a millisecond. The Diva can measure input lag with both 1080p and 4K pictures, though so far we've seen deviations between the two resolutions of only 2 or 3 milliseconds at most. Resolution doesn't appear to affect input lag when image processing features are disabled. We record lag times both in the picture mode in which we perform standard picture tests, and in any game or computer picture modes available. Game and computer modes and features can often improve input lag significantly over modes that prioritize picture quality over responsiveness, with some trade-offs in the form of color accuracy and noise reduction. We note both lag times in our reviews, and mark the fastest numbers between them in our charts and product profiles. 4K is currently the standard for most new TVs, but it's still fairly new for gaming. Whether your games have true 4K resolution and high dynamic range, HDR, contrast and color depends on the platform you use and the game you play. The newest consoles, Microsoft's Xbox Series X and Series S, and Sony's PlayStation 5, support 4K resolution, 3840 by 2160, with HDR. Games on these systems will generally be sharper and more vibrant than previous generation consoles like the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro, and much sharper than the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One S, which don't support 4K gaming. The new systems also support graphical features like ray tracing that their predecessors don't. Regardless, you should look for a TV that supports 4K HDR so you can fully enjoy the latest games. Refresh rates are also important for gaming. All TVs are at least 60 Hz, but some are 120 Hz, capable of showing twice as many frames per second. The newer game consoles are capable of hitting frame rates of 120 FPS, though there aren't many cases of this yet, which will result in ultra-smooth performance on a 120 Hz screen. Keep in mind that most modern games can struggle keeping a consistent 60 FPS, so a refresh rate above 60 Hz isn't absolutely vital. Speaking of gaming monitors, if you want extremely low input lag and a much wider adoption of various refresh rates and VRR, you need to turn towards smaller screens in the form of dedicated gaming monitors. These are designed specifically for gaming, and emphasize responsiveness at least as much as picture quality. Input lag between 2 to 4 ms is common on high-end gaming monitors, though we've started seeing some TVs hit this range recently, and they can also include PC-friendly features that further improve performance, like adaptive refresh rates with NVIDIA G-Sync. The drawback with gaming monitors is that you'll be spending much more per square inch. Monitors are generally smaller than TVs and designed to be used from only a foot or two away, at a desk. They have fewer inputs and don't always have speakers, and rarely have any kind of remote control. If you want to game from your couch, a gaming monitor simply isn't feasible. But if you're ready to play from your desk, check out our list of the best gaming monitors. If you simply want the best picture available, meanwhile, look at our roundup of the best TVs, the best 65-inch TVs, and the best 75-inch and up TVs. And if you want to save some money, head over to our list of the best cheap TVs, which has some models that are good for gaming.